Invite forward a friend, visitor of ours, Fred, here from Bridge Bread. So he's going to tell us about a great initiative that you could be part of right now.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Fred Domke, and my wife and I are the founders of Bridge Bread Bakery, and we're entering into a new partnership here with your church, along with Annunciation as well. And I want to start with a little bit of background, not just about Bridge Bread, but a little bit about homelessness and my faith journey that led to Bridge Bread. So I didn't know, and I don't know if any of you really have thought a whole lot about exactly why it is that people become homeless, but I had a lot of really wrong ideas. I thought it had a lot to do with addictions, and had to do with mental illness and relationship breakups and bad jobs and all sorts of things, but it turns out all those things happen to people and they don't become homeless. So what's the difference? Why do people become homeless? And the real answer, and it took me a long time to figure this out, the real answer is that ordinary people experiencing ordinary life crises who don't have the support and resources to get through those crises get into a downward spiral that causes them to lose everything and eventually lose their homes. So my wife and I were concerned about these things, and we did a lot of volunteering. One week at our church, a sermon was preached. I'm sure you guys have heard Matthew 25, where I'm paraphrasing here. Jesus said that he was hungry, and someone gave him food. He was thirsty, and someone gave him drink. He was a stranger, and someone took him in. And the disciples asked, "When did we do this?" And he said, "When you did that unto the least of these, you did it unto me." So I was thinking a lot about that when my wife and I went over and we volunteered at a daytime homeless shelter where we made dinner for about 300 people, and then we served it. I was the lucky guy who got to hand the trays of food to the folks that were waiting patiently in the dining area. And as I was handing the trays, I noticed this really nice-looking young black man with blue-green eyes, and I was thinking about how great those blue-green eyes look with his dark complexion. He smiled at me, and as he came up and I handed him his tray, when I tell this story, by the way, I get goosebumps, and I've told it 100 times, so bear with me. When he got his tray, I handed his tray, he said, "Bless you." And a lot of people say "bless you." There's a lot of faith in a daytime shelter for people experiencing homelessness. But then I looked at his shirt, and like my shirt, his shirt had writing on it. Here's where the goosebumps come. His shirt said, "Here I am." And I grabbed my wife Sharon's arm and I said, "That's him. We just served Jesus." And it grabbed our hearts, and it grabs mine every time I tell the story. And we decided that we were really going to spend a lot of our energy specifically on trying to help people who were unhoused and experiencing homelessness. So we did. We volunteered in a bunch of different ways to do that. And after a while, we realized that it's really important to give people a place to get out of the weather, and it's really important to arrange for showers, and it's important to do this, and it's important to do that. But what we were doing was we were making it easier for people to live their lives as unhoused persons. And what we really wanted to do was we wanted to think, is there a way we could help it and make it easier for them to be not homeless? So we thought about it and we said, if you're really going to fix this, you can't rely on anything except they're going to have jobs. Well, what kind of jobs can you have for people that are in a homeless shelter? I hadn't a clue. So my wife went away for a weekend. She does a girls' weekend with her sorority sisters. We don't know what they do, but we know it involves wine. And I was alone at home, and I'm the cook in my family, and I'd never made bread. So I decided just because I was bored, I would try to make some bread. And that night, I had a dream, after eating just the bread that I made for dinner, that I was back at the shelter, and I was making bread in the dining room with the guests, in the kitchen with the guests from the dining room. And got up in the morning and I said, "Thank you, Lord, I got my instructions. We're going to open a bakery." So without any plan, any permits, any permission, any licenses, we went the very next week to the shelter, asked the guy running the kitchen if we could borrow the kitchen for the afternoon. He said, "I better clean it up. You better clean it up when you're done." I said, "You know where to find me." Went in the dining room, said, "Anybody want to learn how to make bread?" Got a couple volunteers, took them into the kitchen. We made 16 loaves of bread, and then we paid them. They weren't expecting that. took the loaves of bread to my church and sold them. We had the first Bridge Bread Day, 16 loaves of bread sold at my church. And we came back again the next week and we did it again. And every week for the last 13 years. Now, over the course of those 13 years, we've grown. Bridge Bread has pretty much taken over my life and pretty much taken over Sharon's life as full-time volunteers. And now we own a 5,000 square foot bakery over on Cherokee Street near Jefferson. We've got a full-time bake shop at Soulard Farmers Market. We sell at 14 Schnuck stores, including the one in Webster Groves. We sell our bread wholesale at sandwich and coffee shops. And importantly, and pertinent to today, we sell it through consignment sales at churches like this, partners in what we're doing. Most importantly, we're providing jobs to 8 bakers right now. We have 1 vacancy, 7 are current and an open spot. And our bakers have a real job. It's a job with dignity. We make enough money from selling our products to pay all of their wages and pay for all the ingredients. We are reliant upon donations to pay for our administration and overhead, but we do provide them the dignity of earning their wages. We also help them with a housing incentive program. It's pretty generous. It gives them move-in money, first month's rent, and subsidizes their rent. And over the course of our 13 years, we've had well over 100 lives that we've changed, and about 75% of those folks are today housed and employed. So we've got a really good success ratio. So what we've done and what the bakers have proven through their courageous lives of recovery is we've shown that unhoused persons are not a burden to society, that with a little bit of help and a little bit of support, they can become valued and contributing members of our society, and we love doing it. So what I want to let you know is something that you probably would have never guessed, which is that you can help cure homelessness by eating a cinnamon roll. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Fred. Wow.